All right, welcome back to the iWealth podcast. And today we're here with Mr. Brad Connors and iWealth, and we're talking specifically about worst case scenario.
Well, I'm good at worst case. Ask Trudy. I'm good at worst case scenarios.
I mean, you go right away to it?
You think people, before you go there, do you think people are we wired to see the worst first and then back into it?
Yes.
Is it the fight or flight or whatever?
Totally. What's the worst thing that can happen? Okay, your brain goes there, and you have to train that out of yourself.
Yeah.
And it never fully goes away. It just becomes less.
I have a lot of that. Oh no.
So worst case scenario, you're at home, you get the phone call, your spouse doesn't come home. Okay. What can you do from a financial advising standpoint to help with that particular piece of the puzzle?
But the number one thing that popped in my head is don't make any decisions. It's such a big decision when it comes to losing. It's a big event when you lose a spouse that you shouldn't just 3 months later sell your house. That's a big decision. You shouldn't just cash out all your money and, travel the world. That's a big decision. Whatever. Or go move to a different place. There's big decisions that you should put off for at least a year, in my mind, when you lose somebody. Yeah. Because it's just, you got to grieve and you got to get through that. You got to figure it out. I think a 12-month time period is really, really good. But in regards to accounts and things like that, your financial advisor will sit down and help you through all those different things that have to happen. You can about imagine, Matt, if you have a joint account at a bank and you lose your spouse, you have to go show the bank that they died. So you need a certified copy of the death certificate, and then you got to put it in your name.
Yep.
So you got all these different accounts, Ks, IRAs, all those different things need to change. Something's got to change. And if it's your IRA and you didn't die, your beneficiary is probably your spouse, and they did. So then you got to change those things too,
If somebody was to call in with worst case scenario, do you have kind of a process that you walk them through, or are you just kind of doing that off the hip of okay, you should probably change your beneficiary?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Yes, there's a process. Of course there's a process. I've also had it happen, not in a spouse situation, but I've had numerous phone calls where kids call and want to know how much money they're going to get after mom dies, because dad's already been dead, mom dies, and they want to know. And my answer to them is go to the funeral and then call me next week. Don't, it's so bad. I mean, I've seen the worst of the worst when people are just so money hungry that they're not even buried yet. But back to the spouse, there's a process. So we'll sit down and we'll inventory everything we probably already know anyway. But we're going to inventory where the accounts are, who the beneficiaries are, and then make some changes. Again, back to waiting 12 months, I wouldn't make any big changes with your estate plan or your will or those type of things right away either. Just get through that grieving 12-month process before you make some big adjustments to those things.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And I like that you care about the person first and then care about the finances. People first.
Yeah, it has to be that way. It really does. And you have to be careful. If there's advisors out there that are asking you to take, George dies and now you're in for your first meeting and George has an IRA or a 401k and they're saying, hey, let's move this account over here. There could be some future income and all this kind of stuff. The people are grieving and you don't have to make that adjustment that day.
Yeah.
Just put some time in there so that you can heal a little bit and then make a really good decision about George's 401k. Then just all of a sudden you're going to move it. Just put it in your name. Leave it where it's at. Put it in your name. Add your kids as the beneficiaries or whoever you're going to do. And then work on a plan that makes the most sense for you long term. But there's advisors out there who want to. It's I used to say this statement. I think it's in the Fish Don't Clap book. The more your advisor works with your portfolio, it's like a bar of soap. The smaller it gets. And it's because of commissions and fees. And if advisors can get you to move accounts and move stuff around and they can collect more fees, then whose best interests are they serving? It's theirs. And so, we've had some conversations on other podcasts about how you feel about the person you're dealing with. The person you're dealing with should be calm and cool and just allow you to kind of grieve and get through this process and not make any big decisions. Hopefully you have the right advisor you're working with. I always say we're pretty snoopy, meaning that we find out where money's at and where it's held and who owns it. And the reason why we do that is because if somebody does pass away, we want to be able to be as helpful as we can to make sure that we're making smart decisions with that money.
Smart decisions. I like it. All right. Well, we will see you back here next time on the iWealth podcast.
All right. Thanks, Matt.